Good afternoon. Can you hear my voice? Amekta?
Yes, sir.
We're all going to take a seminar today.
Sir, Vinu, Surya Prakash, Sanjay Krishna, and myself, sir.
Yeah, there are 4 students. What about the remaining? Remaining will take tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir.
The last working day will be extended up to 26th of November. So we have enough time. So no issue. Today, there are first 4 topics going to be covered today, right? So before that, the one important announcement about the assignment. I mean the last assignment. The last assignment, third assignment topic you are given in GCR. There are 4 topics given, right? Real-time cryptographic tools, authentication application, including Kerberos full versions, and X.509 with the complete details. Don't follow any book. You get it from or Google it from online. And third one is entity authentication, including biometric passwords. And final one is challenge response protocol. Have given the deadline for submitting the assignment is on or before 22nd November, before 4 p.m. And one more important thing is there is no need to submit the third assignment. Those who are already accepted to take a seminar, as topic given in previous class. There are certain 7 to 9 students now. These 9 students not need to submit your assignment. This is assignment only for those who are not interested to take a seminar, right? Others are should compulsorily submit the assignment before the deadline. Otherwise, your assignment will not be considered for correction. Your mark not be included in the internal, right? Please keep in mind. So most of them, they liturgically they submit the assignment, even the test. They submitting morning itself. If you give a deadline for submitting a morning, they will submit another day, right? It will take a couple of days. So no, it's not fair. So this time I won't give even 1 minute extra, right? You have to submit before correct at 4 p.m. on or before 4 p.m. Right? So சொல்லி வந்து எந்த permission கேட்காதீங்க. I won't give permission. Okay? This is the third assignment. And one important thing, those are wish to take a seminar. Once the seminar is over, your PPT want to be mailed through my official mail ID, then only your seminar will be fulfilled and your seminar will be taken as account for consider for the internal. Right? You got it what I'm telling? What Samyukta?
Yes,
Or
sir.
otherwise you convey it to your friends. Okay. Now first who going to take a seminar first? Email? Venu. Right?
Yes, sir.
Venu? Okay. You can carry on, Venu. Share your PPT. Sadia? Sadia?
Sir, is my screen visible, sir?
Okay. Your voice is very low. You can give
Sir,
it.
am I audible?
Okay, okay. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. So today I'll be taking the topic email security. So before we talk about email security, it is important to know a little about why emails came into existence in the first place. So the first email was actually sent by Ray Tomlinson in 1971. So this is the guy in the photo. He was the first person to send an email, and the content of the email was basically the top row of the alphabets on the keyboard, and it was sent to a computer sitting right next to it. So why he invented email was because prior to the email, the method of communication was very primitive. Uh, People relied mostly on letters, telegrams, and such. And even before that, there are stories of how pigeons used to deliver messages during wars in ancient times. So these methods of communication were very primitive in nature, while and email greatly expanded upon this, and it also paved the way for modern messaging services such as WhatsApp and such. So whatever modern messaging service you use, it came into existence only because of the email. So moving on, there are three facets of email security. One is account access security, next is account recovery, and then there's the email security itself. Now, considering that email is mostly used by people who wish to communicate personal information or confidential information, it is important that their privacy is protected, especially in the digital age where hackings and data leaks are becoming more and more common. Email service providers are constantly looking to ramp up their security and provide the best possible encryption for the users who use their service. Um, so let's move on to account access security. So basically, account access it. So let's take an email service provider such as Gmail. So when we every email account has a password. Right? If I'm not sure how many of you know, but when the email first came into existence, passwords were very weak in nature. Nowadays, we started using special characters, numbers, and such in our passwords. And email service providers also started forcing their users to create strong passwords so that their data would not be breached. But prior to this, passwords were very simple, and mostly people would keep passwords uh, which had some personal connection to them, such as the name of their first pet or the name of the loved ones or something. But nowadays, things are changing, and people are keeping stronger and more complicated passwords withstand many hacking attacks. Um, however, even if you keep a strong password, um, so let's say you keep a very strong 14 character password with a mix of alphabets, uppercase letters, lowercase numbers, and numbers, even that is not enough to withstand brute force attacks nowadays, because the level of hacking and the technology in the hacking industry itself has gone to such an extent that even such passwords have been breached. So, for this purpose, email service providers such as Gmail, Outlook, and so on, they introduce something called two-step verification. Let's take a look at what two-step verification is. So, two-step verification, uh, as the name suggests, the user will have to provide, when they log in, the user will provide their password, and they will also have to uh, still give access to the account to their mobile phone. So basically, for to set up two-step verification, I will show you it now. So if you go into the security tab of Gmail and you go here, you can find the option to turn on two-step verification. You just click on that, and then it says here protect your account with two-step verification. So this means that even if someone guesses your password, they will not be able to access your account unless you give them access through your phone. So whenever someone tries to access your account with your password, you will get a notification on your phone asking if you want to allow them into your account or not. So I'm going to set up two-step verification for my account and show you how the setting up process works. So first, let me just type my password.
Oh.
Yes. So this is
Okay, carry on.
So this is my phone. So this is the phone which is linked to my account. So after I enter my password, Google will send a prompt to my phone, and uh, I will, if someone tries to access my account, I'll get that prompt, and I will review if they can access the account or not. So this is my device. I'm just going to click continue. Um, so now they are asking to add a backup option. So in case, suppose you don't have access to your phone, or your phone is lost, or whatever, you can use this number to get into your account or whatever, or use it for two-step verification. So I'm now going to give my mother's number. So now it'll be a code will be sent to my mother's number, and if I enter that code, I'll be able to set up two-step verification. Right now, I don't have access to the phone, but this is how it basically works. Once you click next, it'll all be set up automatically. So moving back to the presentation. So yeah, that's basically two-step verification. So even if someone gets access to your account password, they will still need your permission to get into the account. So as long as you don't give them permission, they will not be able to access your account even if they have your password. Moving on. Now we have something called account recovery security. So you might have come across sometimes where you know your email ID, but you have forgotten your password for whatever reason. And by clicking on the forward password option, actually a few years ago, there was actually a few exploits with the forward password option. Like it was possible for someone to get access to the account to the forgot password option. I actually remember doing it to my friend as a joke a few years ago, and it was actually a security breach on Google's part. But however, now they have upgraded the security and to such an extent that this is no longer possible. But before, this was actually a problem, and so I'm going to demonstrate that as well. What will happen when you try to access an account you don't know, the password you don't know. So I'm just going to sign out. So now when I try to sign in, this is my friend's account. So I'm going to click on his, and I'm going to give forgot password because I don't know his password, but I want to get into his account. So what happens is Google immediately pulls up this layer of security. So now it sent a notification to his iPhone. So unless he clicks on the yes, I do notification, I will not be able to access his account. So in this way, before this actually was not present, but now Google has started ramping up. Now even if I click try another way, they has a recovery email. So the recovery email will have a specific verification code. Again, this is another layer of security to ensure that a user who's genuinely trying to access the account can get to their account, but also keep out unwanted intruders. So let me close this. And 1 second. Sorry, my screen is visible now. Sorry. So back to the presentation. So this is the account recovery security in case you forget your password. There are extra layers of security to prevent intruders from accessing your account. Next up, we have email security itself. So now it's not enough that email service providers uh, provide security for the accounts themselves, so that they can prevent the accounts from being uh, intruded upon. The emails which are sent also have to be encrypted. So if an attacker tries to intercept an email, they will not be able to read it. Think of it as somewhat of a code language. So whatever private email is sent between different organizations, businesses, etc., an attacker will not be able to decipher the correct information. So each and every email will have a strong layer of encryption. Now let's take a look at what type of encryption is that. So there are two layers of encryption in Gmail. One is the transport layer security, and other one is secure or multi-purpose internet mail extension. Transport layer security is the most basic form of encryption in Gmail. So whatever email you send and receive, any normal email from any normal Gmail account is encrypted with TLS. However, this is not end-to-end encryption. Now, you might be wondering what end-to-end means. End-to-end is basically the encryption you have in WhatsApp. Whenever you try to open a new chat on WhatsApp, you would have noticed the message, all WhatsApp chats are encrypted end-to-end, which means WhatsApp itself cannot read it. That's what end-to-end encryption means. The app itself will not be able to read your messages. However, Gmail is not end-to-end encrypted. Uh, Gmail has TLS encryption, which means that Gmail might be able to read your emails if they wish to do so. And they were reading emails from users so that they could uh, put targeted advertisements. However, they stopped doing this as it was a breach of privacy. So that's a disadvantage of Gmail. It's not end-to-end encrypted, which means Google themselves can read it. And you might have noticed when typing an email on your mobile phone, sometimes there will be an autocorrect, autofill option uh, to complete your sentence. That is only possible because Gmail is not end-to-end encrypted. If Gmail was end-to-end encrypted, we would not be able to have that feature. The other one is secure or multi-purpose internet mail extension. This is an advanced form of encryption and is available only for paid Google accounts. So whatever normal accounts which we have, they don't have this encryption. This is only for the business accounts and whatnot. And this type of encryption is more stronger than TLS, obviously. And the message can be deciphered by whatever email you send. The recipient, the guy receiving the email, he or she can decipher the email using a special key. However, this still is not close to end-to-end encryption because Gmail can still read these emails if they wish to do so. Finally, we are coming to something called confidential mode in Gmail. This is sort of another security gimmick in Gmail. And I think this is a little unknown feature. I myself do not know this existed. So it just allows people to decide what happens to the email after it's sent. So basically, when you send an email, you can set the email to you can stop the other person from accessing the email after a set period of time, and you can stop the other person from downloading any attachments in the email itself. So now I'm going to demonstrate this. So how to use this feature basically. Let me go to my Google account. So if I click on compose messages, and let me type my second email address. So now if you come down, you can see this button called turn confidential mode on or off. If you click on that, you have some options. You can set the email to expire in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months or 5 years. So if I put it expires in 1 day, it'll basically after 1 day the email will no longer be able to be read by the other person. So, and you can also add a passcode. So whatever passcode, using the passcode only the other person can access the email. I'm not going to set a passcode, but I'm just going to demonstrate how and what's the difference between a confidential email and a normal email. So I'm going to set save, and I'm going to send this email. This email has been sent. Now I'm going to open the other account, and let me refresh this. It'll take some time to come, but yes, you can see the email has arrived and it's in the confidential mode. I can see the message is displayed. This message was sent in confidential mode. And as you can see, as it is sent in confidential mode, I do not have the option to forward this email. As you can see, I do not have the option to forward this email. I can only reply to this email. I can delete or can block. I don't have the option to forward. I can't do anything with this email. And after a day, I cannot access this email. And however, and as you can see, this is a normal email which I sent to myself yesterday. Here I have the option to forward. I have the option to print the email as well. And I can also download the attachment in this email. As you can see, I can do whatever I want with it. But in a confidential email, sorry, so in the same confidential email, the same attachment, I am not able to download it. I'm not able to forward it. I'm not able to do anything. So this is a bit of a cool feature. If you want, you can use this, and it'll expire after. It does provide an extra layer of security if you want that email to be deleted after a particular period of time. However, that doesn't mean the user will be able to take screenshots of whatever you send. So basically, I can take screenshots. As you can see, I just took a screenshot of this message, and I can use third-party extensions to download or print this email. So it is not fully secure, but the option is there if you want to do something, if you want to use it. So that's all for email security. Thank you. That's all, sir.
Over, Vinu.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for giving a very good presentation. Shall I ask some question?
Yes, sir.
So your topic is email security, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell what are the securities used in emails first of all?
As I said, the TLS encryption, sir. And
TLS.
yes, sir. In Gmail uses TLS encryption, sir, and as well as the other form of encryption which I mentioned here, secure or multi-purpose internet mail extension or
No,
Discord.
how do you ensure your security of email?
Yes, sir. By encrypting the email itself, sir, so that external attackers cannot read it. That's how they ensure security, sir.
No. My question is, you understand my question? How do you ensure the security of email, and how does the email security can work?
I'm not sure about the full specifics, sir, but how it works is it basically encodes the email. So whatever, if I type something in the English language,
What
that
are
will
the
be
security issues there? Is there?
security issues. Like I said, hacking of email accounts. That's a very big security issue, sir. So, and that's why I said two-step verification is one such security measure to prevent that. Because even recently, many email accounts get hacked and emails get leaked. So this two-step verification is one very popular method to prevent that. It's not only used in emails, but it starts being used in even other social media sites as well, sir. So
Okay, Pa, thank you. Again, thank you for your given good presentation. Next,
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
next, who is going to take second topic?
Sir, Surya
Uh,
Prakash.
Surya Prakash, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can
சார்
share your.
ஆப்ஷன் போட்டிருக்கீங்க சார்.
சூரிய பிரகாஷ், நீ எப்போ வந்து நான் ஆப்ஷன் போடணும்? நீ எப்போ வரணும்? கடைசியா வந்திருக்க.
சார் இல்ல சார், நான்
Okay,
கூகுள்
okay.
ஸ்கிரீன் பிரசன்ட் பண்றதுக்காக அந்த இன்னொரு
Okay,
லேப்ல வந்தேன் சார்.
you carry on first.
ஓகே
Okay.
சார். Good afternoon. My topic is PGP, stand for Petty Goods Privacy. About PGP, PGP is a cryptographic method that lets people to communicate privately on online. First of all, it was invented by the Philly Zimmerman in 1991. It was designed to provide all four aspects of the security, like privacy, integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation in the sending of emails. It was only open source and a freely available software package for email security purpose. Then, the service offered by PGP are five methods like authentication that used for digital signature, confidentiality used for symmetric block encryption, compression to zip algorithm, email compatibility of the Radix 64 encoded scheme, and the last one is segmentation. Then the process for PGP, it's a follow three steps. Uh, Step one is PGP generate a huge and one-time user public encryption algorithm that cannot be guessed with becomes a random session key. And the step two is the session key is encrypted using the recipient public key, which used to transmit the message. Then recipient share the key without anyone want receive message from other. And step three, the message sender submit the session key. Then the recipient can decrypt the message using the privacy key. And how PGP works. You can see the flow of a user and a public and a private. In first one, user A want to send user B as a private mail. Then user B generate a public and a private key. Then user B keeps the private key and send back the public key. Then user A encrypt the message to using the public key. When user A sends a private encrypted message, user B decrypt the message with the private key. The PGP of workflow. As a PGP used as a fast encryption algorithm to encrypt the message and then user public key to encrypt the shorter key that used to encrypt the entire message. Both the encrypted and the short key are sent to the receiver, who first use the receiver's private key to decrypt the short key. Then user key decrypt the message. The hash code, which can be username and other digital data, is encrypted by the message sender private key. When the recipient use the message sender as a public key to decrypt the hash, and if the matches that sent by the sender, then it confirms the message was securely received. Two public key version of PGP. One is reverse Shamir Edelman RSA, and another one is Diffie-Hellman. In RSA, there is one of the first public key crypto system which encrypt the short key created by using international data encryption algorithm, which is IDEA. The C use create and publish public key based on two prime numbers, which are required for anyone to decode and use the message digital algorithm up to MD5 to create a hash code. In C2, Diffie-Hellman version enables two users to generate shared like a private key through which they can exchange data on insecure channels. It encrypts the message with a short key using a cached algorithm. and secure the hash algorithm SHA-1 to create a hash code. Here are the advantages of PGP. It have more both the security of systematic cryptography and the speed of symmetric encryption. The algorithm is unbreakable. It is widely used by people who needs to secure their private communication and leading method for enhanced cloud security. It is impossible for hacker, nation states or government agency to break into the file or email to protect the PGP encryption. The file and the key generated in one program may be used in another without any problems. And the disadvantage of PGP, it is typically not user friendly, which make it more complex for user. Then a user need to fully understand how the PGP system works, and they should able to manage the key effectively. When it is impossible to use a PGP unless both the sender and the recipient of the communication are using the same version of the software, not compatible. When using this method, can add a significant extra work and time to your daily schedules. Thank you, sir. Sir,
Hello, Surya Narayan. Surya Prakash.
yes, sir.
Your topic is over.
Yes, sir.
என்னையா 5 minutesல முடிச்சிட்ட?
சார் அவ்வளோதான் சார்
அவ்வளவுதான்
எடுத்துருந்தேன்.
இருக்கா? Oh, your topic is PGP, right?
எஸ் சார், எஸ் சார்.
Okay, tell me how do you use your PGP in email? How do you use PGP in email and what PGP provide in email? Tell me.
Okay.
வந்தது லேட் 5 minutesல முடிச்சிட்ட. ஏன்டா டேய்?
சார் நான் லேட்டா வரல சார். சார் நான் ஃபர்ஸ்டே ஜாயின் பண்ணிட்டேன் சார்.
லிசன் வந்தது லேட்டு, ரைட்? உனக்கு கொடுத்துருக்க டாபிக் வந்து பிஜிபி கொஞ்சம் டீட்டெயிலாக எடுக்கணும், டீட்டெயில் நோட் கொடுக்கணும். ஸோ அசைன்மெண்ட் டாபிக் பார்த்தியா? நான் எவ்வளோ கொடுத்துருக்கேன் பாருங்க. ஸோ நீ 5 minutesல வந்து நோகாமல் சாமி கொடுத்து போயிட்ட. சரி, ஓகே. நீ இந்த 2 கொஸ்டினுக்கு ஆன்சர் பண்ணுப்பா.
எஸ் சார். சார்
ஆன்சர் சொல்லு
சார். கொஸ்டின் இன்னொரு தர சொல்லுங்க சார்.
How do you use a PGP in email?
ஓகே சார்.
And what PGP provide in email? இதுக்கு மட்டும் ஆன்சர் சொல்லு.
ஓகே சார். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அந்த ஜிமெயில் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணாது சார். என்கிரிப்ட் மெசேஜ் வந்து சப்போர்ட் பண்ணாது சார். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் யூஸ்வலாக வந்துட்டு மெசேஜை முதல்ல சென்ட் பண்ணிட்டு பப்ளிக் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுக்கு வந்து பப்ளிக் கீழ சென்ட் பண்ணிட்டு.
கேட்ட क्वेश्चन அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிட்டியா? நான் என்ன கேட்டேன், என்ன ஆன்சர் பண்ற? நான் என்ன ஆன்சர், நான் என்ன क्वेश्चन கேட்டேன் சொல்லுப்பா.
How does PGP supports email?
இமெயில் சப்போர்ட் எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம் அது சொல்ல. தமிழ்ல சொல்ல, நோ ப்ராப்ளம்.
Okay.
First of all, what is PGP? Why we need a PGP encryption?
Sir, PGP pretty good privacy, sir.
Okay.
Use it to design provide all 4 aspects as security.
Why do we use the PGP in email? How to use in the secondary? Why do we use? Without PGP encryption, what will happen while you are transmitting, while you are transferring mail?
Sir, it provides cryptography, privacy, and authentication for data communication, sir.
இப்போ நெட்ல பார்த்துட்டியா?
இல்ல சார்.
யா
இல்ல சார், நான் கூகுள்ல.
ஓகே. The next யாருப்பா? Samyukta,
Yes, sir. I think Sanjay Krishna இல்ல சார் இன்னைக்கு.
Sanjay Krishna is absent.
அவன் இல்ல, மீட்ல இல்ல.
So, what up to you?
Yes, sir. I'll do, sir.
Okay, you pick.
So good afternoon, sir. Today I'll take on IP security. So first of all, starting with IP security overview, why do we need IP security? So today the data are completely unprotected, and it is OS can inspect or modify the data we transmit. So if we add IP security to the system, it will resolve this limitation by providing strong encryption, integrity, authentication, and replay protection. And what are the problems we face today? So today's internet is primarily comprised of public, untrusted, and unreliable IP networks. So because of this lack of security, the internet is subject to various type of threats. And the following slide, we have the internet threats. These are the internet threats that are faced today, such as data integrity. Data integrity means the contents of the packet can be accidentally or deliberately modified by any other user. So this is called data integrity. Then the identify spoofing is the origin of an IP packet can be forged. That is, it can be changed. So this is identity spoofing, and anti-reply attacks is unauthorized data can be retransmitted. So next, finally, it is a loss of privacy. The contents of a packet can be examined in transit. So these are the internet threats. So to avoid these threats, we go on to use IP security. So IP level security encompasses three functional areas, that is authentication, confidentiality, and key management. So these three features, like authentication. So what is authentication? Is authentication mechanism ensures that the received packet was sent by the identified source. It is sent by a trusted user. So it also assures that the packet has not been altered, that while transmitting data, it makes sure that there is no intermediate changes in the data sent by the user. So this is authentication. Then confidentiality. The confidentiality facility enables communicating nodes to encrypt message to prevent eavesdropping by third parties. So while moving from the sender to receiver, it makes sure that the third party in between does not have access to the data. So it is confidentially sent between the sender and the receiver. Then finally, key management, it is concerned with secure exchange of keys between the sender and the receiver. So the IP security document. So first, this is the block diagram. So architecture covers the general concept of security requirements, definitions, and mechanisms defining IP security technology. Then in IP security, there are two protocols used, that is ESP and AH. ESP stands for encapsulating security payload, and AH stands for authentication header. These two protocols we will uh, see it in later slides. Then the DOI stands for domain of interpretation. It contains values needed for the other documents to relate to each other. These include identifiers for approved encryption and authenticating algorithms, as well as operational parameters such as key time. Then another thing which is present here in the document is Internet Key Exchange, that is IKE, a collection of documents describing the key management scheme for use with IP security. And these algorithms, such as encryption algorithm and authentication algorithm, includes a large set of documents that define and describe cryptographic algorithms for encryption, message authentication, pseudo-random function, and cryptographic key exchange. So this is about the document of IP security. Then in detail about authentication header. So it provides support for data integrity and authentication of IP packets. Authentication is based on the use of a message authentication code, that is MAC. Hence, the two parties must share a secret key. So this is the fields in the authentication header. I will describe each one in detail. So the next header which is present, it is 8 bits long. It identifies the type of the header immediately following this header. The next is the payload length, which is again 8 bits long. So length of authentication header in 32-bit words and -2. So yeah, next is the reserved, which is 16 bits long, and it is used for extra for future use. Then is the security parameter index, which is 32 bits long, identifies a security association. Next is the sequence number, which is 32 bits long, monotonically increasing counter value. And the last is the authentication data, which a variable length field. It is varied, it's not in fixed size. So variable length field that contains the integrity check value, that is ICV or MAC, which we saw earlier. So this is about the authentication header. And next is the ESP, that is encapsulating security payload. It provides message content and confidentiality and limited traffic flow confidentiality. Can optionally provide the same authentication service as AH. Then because message authentication is provided by ESP, the use of AH is depreciated. Nowadays, ESP is used enormously. So it provides a range of ciphers, models, and padding, and some few examples are here. And about the ESP format, first is the security parameter index, which is 32 bits long, identifies a security association. Next is the sequence number, which is again 32 bits long, a monotony increasing counter value. This provides an anti-replay function. And next is the payload data variable. This is a transport level segment or IP packet that is protected by encryption. And next is the padding, which is 0 to 255 bytes. For it is used for various other reasons, like adding extra values while sending to the receiver. Then in padding, there are two other fields, such as pad length, which is 8 bits, indicates a number of pad bytes immediately preceding this field. And the next header, which is 8 bits, identifies the type of data contained in the payload data field by identifying the first header in that payload. And finally, it is the integrity check value, a variable length field that contains the integrity check value computed over the ESP packet minus the authentication data field. So this is the ESP format. Basically, there are two modes of operations in IP security. Both the authentication header as well as the ESP support two modes. One is the transport mode and other is the tunnel mode. So transport mode provides protection primarily for upper layer of protocols, whereas tunnel mode provides protection to the entire IP packet, including the upper layers. Then ESP in transport mode encrypts and optionally authenticates the IP payload, but not the IP header. Authentication header authenticates the IP payload and selected portions of the IP header. Then in tunnel mode, after the authentication or ESP fields are added to the IP packet, the entire packet plus the security fields, that is the entire payload of the new packet with the IP header is checked. So these are the modes of operations in IP security. Finally, the applications of IP security. Secure branch office connectivity over the internet if you have IP security, then secured remote access over the internet, establishing extranet and intranet connectivity with partners, and enhancing electronic commerce security. Then the benefits of IP security: provide strong security when implemented in a firewall or router. IP security is resistant to bypass if all traffic from the outside must use IP and the firewall. It's the only way of entrance from the internet into the organization. So it is more secure. So since it is below transparent, hence transparent to applications, can be transparent to end users as well, and can provide security for individual users if needed. So this is about IP security. That's it, sir.
The meet is over, right?
Yes, sir.
I may ask only one question. What components are in IP security?
Sir?
What components are in IP security?
Components, sir.
Yes.
Sir, it has two protocols, sir. Authentication and ESP.
Okay. Is IP is a security protocol?
Sir, it is a type of security, sir, to
So you
secure
understand
IP.
my question, whether is IP is a security protocol or not?
Not a protocol, sir.
Then?
It's like providing security for a network layer, sir. Protocol means it does not have a standard set of instructions, whereas in IP security there are two other protocols which are there, sir.
Tell me what components are used in IP security.
Components means,
As
sir,
you pointed out in beginning of your presentation.
yes, sir. Components means the ESP, sir, encapsulating security payload and authentication header AH, sir. And then finally the internet key exchange IKE, sir. Sir? Sir?
Samyukta?
Yes, sir.
சொல்லுமா.
Sir, yes, sir. And the
What components are in IP?
authentication, confidentiality, and key management, sir.
அதான் கேட்டேன், பார்த்துட்டீங்களா அதுக்குள்ள? Authentication,
சொன்னேன்,
AH,
sir. Yes,
ESP and key,
yes,
IKE.
sir.
ஓகே ஓகேம்மா, குட்.
Thank you.
நாளைக்கு வந்து யார் எடுக்கணும்?
சஞ்சய் கிருஷ்ணாவும் சேர்த்து எடுக்கணும் சார். சஞ்சய் கிருஷ்ணா
அவன்கிட்ட இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணிடுமா?
ஓகே
நாளைக்கு
சார்.
எடுக்கலன்னா நான் ஆப்ஷன் போட்டுடுவேன். சரியா?
ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே.
மிச்சவங்க நாளைக்கு எடுக்கணும் சார்.
ஆமா, நீங்க எல்லாருமே இது எனக்கு மெயில் பண்ணிடுங்க.
மெயில் ஒண்டி ஐடி ஒண்டி அனுப்புறீங்களா சார்?
மெயில் ஐடி, என்னோட ஐடி வந்து இதுல இருக்கு, GCL.
ஓகே சார்.
பாருங்க, பாத்துக்கோங்க.
ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே. சூர்ய பிரகாஷ், you take attendance.
Yes, sir.
In private, as a private message, right?
Okay, sir.
You take attendance along with the OD.
Okay, sir.